Hello everyone, in this lab I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot the issues with NAT. We have two types of NAT, a static NAT and dynamic NAT configured in this topology. So we are going to do the troubleshooting and see how we can resolve the issues that sometimes happens with NAT configuration. So first of all, I'm gonna show you the topology. So as you can see, we have one access switch connected to two PCs, PC A, PC B. We have a gateway router, which is also functioning as a NAT between the internal network and the outside network, which is the ISP. We have one internet services like L0 loopback 0, which represents the internet services that these PCs need to connect to. And there is also a static NAT configured in this topology on PCA. It represents our web server, which should be accessible from the outside network. And we have configured a static NAT. The way that this static NAT works, when external users want to connect to the web server, they actually connect to one IP address, one routable IP address that we have configured for this web service. When they hit that IP address or the public IP address, then they will be connected or they will be NATed to PCA, the web server, which has a private IP address. So that is called a static NAT. So a static NAT is usually when we have one web server in our corporate network with a private IP address and we want it to be accessible from outside, but the outside users cannot reach the private IP addresses. So we use a static NAT and we NAT the private IP address of this PC, which is right now we use this IP address to go outside. So we actually do the static NAT on the private IP address and send it outside. So from outside, this PC is accessible by this IP address, but of course it will be translated to its private IP address. And we have also dynamic NAT when our private like clients that are in the private network want to reach the internet services outside. So these private IP addresses will be translated to a pool of public IP addresses that we have assigned on gateway router to go outside. So I have built this topology, and as you can see, we have one switch, PCA, PCB, gateway, and ISP. So the loopback 0 of our ISP represents our internet services that from PCA, for example, we have to be able to ping that loopback interface. Let's see if we can ping, and then if not, we have to do the troubleshooting. So first of all, I'm going to connect to my PCA. So also I will connect to my routers. So the ISP, of course, we will also then later we need also to connect to the gateway. Okay, first of all, the ISP. Let's check the show IP interface brief, and you can see that the loopback 0 interface is 198.133.219.1, and of course there is one static route between the ISP and the gateway to route the traffic between these two. Because this serial interface is the IP address 209.165.200.226 and the other one is 225. You have to do the IP addressing based on the this table. So all IP addresses have been assigned. So we need to check if we can ping this IP address. So I'm going to PCA. Oh, let's close one of them. Okay, so I will ping 198.133.219.1.1. ping 198.133.219.1, and I can see that it is not pingable. So let's go first. Also, I will enable debug IP NAT detailed. So I will ping again, and I can see that I cannot ping. So on the gateway, show IP NAT translation, I issue this command. So I can see that this is the IP address which we have used for the static NAT, and this is the inside local address. But inside local address config, so inside local address is 13, and of course we can also ping the gateway because the traffic will go to 192.168.1.1. I can ping the gateway, but I cannot ping that external IP address. I can see that this IP address is wrong, is 23. So let's check the show run section NAT, and these are my NAT configurations. So the static NAT which we have configured is this one. We also have configured dynamic NAT, but the static one is this one. And I can see that the IP address for inside local is wrong. So we have to change this. See? No. And then what I will do, I will just change to 13, which is this system, 13. So now if I go show run section NAT, and I can see now this one now is the correct command. So show IP NAT translations, and I can see now it's using the correct inside local IP address. Now again I ping, sorry, I'm pinging the gateway, but I need to ping the loopback IP address of ISP, and I can see that it is not pinging. And if I go to the debug, failed to get translated to, it's showing me that again the NAT is failing. So there should be some other issues. If I ping again, so it's not pingable. So what I will do, so the static NAT configuration is correct, but we have to check if the NAT is actually applied to the correct interfaces, because we have this interface as the incoming and this is as the outgoing interface. So if I issue the command show IP NAT statistics, and you can see that the outside interfaces, it is showing Ethernet 00 and also serial 11, which is not, this interface is the incoming interface, it's not the outside interface. So if I go show run int Ethernet 00, I can see that it says IP NAT outside, which is not correct, and it should be IP NAT inside. So conf t int Ethernet 00, no IP NAT outside, and I have to change it to inside. So show run int Ethernet 00, and I can see that it is showing IP NAT inside. Also, serial, we don't have serial 11, which is serial 10 here. So show run int serial 11. As I can see, the IP NAT outside is set on the wrong interface. So I go to serial 11 and no IP NAT outside. Then I have to go to int serial 10 IP NAT outside. So show run int serial 10, and I can see that it is our IP NAT outside. So a static NAT issue, I fixed it, and also the direction of the NAT which is applied on the interfaces also I fixed. And now you can see that I can ping the, and you can see because I have enabled the debug, it is showing that this IP address is going outside with this routable IP address that I have set on the. So if I show run section NAT, you can see that it is translating this IP address to this, and this is called a static NAT IP address. Also from the ISP, now let me show you something. If from the ISP I ping this IP address, which is 209.165.200.254, which is my web address, like this PCs. Now if I go to my router now and show IP NAT translations, and you can see that whenever somebody pings this IP address, it will be translated to this inside local IP address. So this is from inside to outside, this is from outside to inside, this is inside local, and this is inside global IP address. Now I have to also check if PCB, which is using a dynamic NAT, can reach the ISP's loopback. So I'm going to PCB, just log in. So again, I'm gonna check if I can reach this loopback interface. But this one is using dynamic NAT because PCA was our web server was using a static, but this one is using the dynamic NAT. So first I will check the configuration. It is 1.4. So first to check 192.168.1.1, I can ping, I can reach the gateway, and check the 198, which is the internet services, 133.219.1, and I can see that I cannot ping and show IP NAT translations. I can see that it is not working. So let's show run section NAT. So if I go to this dynamic NAT configuration, we have a pool of IP addresses, IP NAT pool, and this is the range of IP addresses that we can assign to our private network, to private clients with this net mask. And look at this. This is a dynamic NAT configuration, but when we look at this dynamic NAT configuration, the source list is the ACL, this IP addresses, and the pool it is using, which should be this pool, NAT pool, but the name is not correctly configured, because it is saying that all private IP addresses with the source list NAT ACL will be translated to this pool of IP addresses that we have defined. The name of the pool is NAT underscore pool, but here is not correctly specified. So that is one issue that we have to fix. So I just remove this. And then I use the correct name, NAT underscore pool. The name of the pool was not correct. This is not NAT pool. Okay, now it is using the correct one. Now let's ping again. So I can see that still I cannot ping. So there is one access list. Let's check the access list. Show IP access list NAT underscore ACL. So when I look at the access list, it is permitting the IP address with this wildcard mask 192.168.10. But what is the IP of this system? It is 1.4. It is not 10. So that is something we need to change. So I go to the IP access list standard NAT ACL, and no permit 192.168.10.0 with the subnet wildcard mask actually of 00025, and I'll change it to, I'll actually fix it to the correct IP address. Show IP access list NAT ACL. So I can see that now the correct IP, and now I ping again, and I can see that I can ping it, and you can see the debug is showing the successful. Now show IP NAT translations, and you can see that it is using this IP address to go outside. Actually, this is the private IP address of this system, and this is the IP address which is getting from the pool which we have defined. There is a pool of IP addresses that we have defined. So it is getting the first IP in the pool. And show IP NAT statistics. It shows us the statistics of the pool. So that was two issues that we had with the static and dynamic NAT configuration, and we could actually resolve the issues by changing the configurations of the router switches. Now the static NAT and the dynamic NAT, both of them are working fine. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much.